A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Magnetic letters are fun to me. H, I, J, K, L, M, N. You can use them over and over again. O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. I think you'll learn something new. V, W, X, Y, Z. Thank you all for joining me. Now let's see how much fun there'll be learning with magnetic letters, you see. So today I'm going to talk about magnetic letters. They're kind of like comfort food for early childhood people. They're inexpensive, they're available every place, and you can use them in so many different ways. So I wanted to get started with Letterman. He is made out of an orange juice container, but you could also use a milk jug. And I just cut a hole in his mouth, and the hole just needs to be big enough for the children to get their hand in and out. He's got a pom-pom for a nose, googly eyes, and his hair is just strips of felt that I cut. And so there are lots of different things you could do with Letterman. You could let the children pick out the letters of a certain color, like feed him all the red ones or all the yellow ones. You could let them write their name and feed it to Letterman. You could let them spell sight words and feed Letterman. You could let them reach in and choose a letter and then tell something that starts with that sound. You could also let them use this in a center where they would choose a letter and then write the letter, so it's kind of a good way to get them to practice some of their writing skills. At one time, I used Letterman, and he is made out of a swing trash can, but I'm having a hard time finding these now, so it works just as well to use a milk carton or an orange juice container and do those activities that way. Another thing that you can do with magnetic letters is use them in the Play-Doh center. So you give the children the Play-Doh, and they get to pat the Play-Doh out and make a cookie, and then they can take the magnetic letter and print it in the Play-Doh, and there's the Play-Doh letter. Can you see that? That's a B. Another thing that I like to do with the magnetic letters, I like to make these things, I call them letter pops. And these are just magnetic letters glued to jumbo craft sticks. And a really good glue for these activities is called E6000. I do not work for the company. I don't make money for doing this. It's just a really good glue that will hold plastic, glass, wood, you name it. I've fixed suitcases and chairs and shoes and broken glass objects with this, with E6000. The only thing you need to remember is it should be used at home. You shouldn't have it at school because it's very toxic. So anyway, if you made these, and you could make these for less than $5, you could pass these out to the children, and they could walk around the room, and they could match it up with print in the classroom. You could make an uppercase set and a lowercase set, and they could walk around and match them up with their friends. You could pass these out, and when you sing alphabet songs, they hold up the letter when you sing it in the song. You could pass these out, and the older children could get together and make words with their friends. Another idea came from a teacher. She said she put these letter pops in a can in her classroom library, and she told the children, when you read a book, to choose a letter pop and then see if you can find that letter in the book. So all sorts of visual discrimination activities and phonics activities that you could do with these letter pops. Another simple tool that you can make with the letter pops is a letter tin. Now, I'll tell you a story about this. The teacher who shared this idea said that they bought a cookie tin and a set of magnetic letters for each child in their classroom. And then as they introduced the letters, the children got to save them in their letter tin, and there was ownership there. They owned those letters. And then they took this home one night a week, and they did activities with their parents at home with the letters. Another thing they did later on in the year, they put 3 lines on the inside lid of the tin, and the teacher would call out sounds, and the children would find the letter and they would put it up on the cookie tin and make the word, and then take away the if you put up there, what does it say? Tub. So CVC Words, word families would be really good with this activity. Now I know most of you are not going to buy a cookie tin and a set of magnetic letters for each child in your classroom, but this would be something you could put in a learning center, and you could have them make CVC words and then write them. You could also use this with a guided reading group. If you were working on different sounds and making words with the children with something like that. You had 2 or 3 of these, a couple kids could work together and it would be a good small group activity. Another thing that you can do with magnetic letters is get like a plastic bottle, you know, the ones that the pretzels and the things that the big box stores come in, and you can put salt or sand in the bottle and then put a set of magnetic letters, and the children can spin them around and try to identify the letters. Another thing that you can do is to make a grid with the alphabet letters, and all you have to do is put alphabet grid in your search engine and you'll be able to download one of these free, and then as they find the different letters they can color them in on their grid. You can make alphabet soup with magnetic letters, and that's just a little mixing bowl and a big spoon and a set of magnetic letters, and the children scoop out some letters, and then they use the letters to make words, or they can write the letters, or they can identify the letters. Do you see the different age levels that you can do with these magnetic letters? I'm even thinking like, you know, for first or second graders, they could think of an adjective that started with a letter, or if you're working on adverbs, they could think of an adverb that started with the letters. This is a little dog dish, and some of you know my song, Who Let the A Out? Ah, 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 ah. So you can put your magnetic letters in the dog dish, and they can choose one at a time and sing like, Who let the N out? Mm, 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 mm. I also have a little school bus, and I've got patterns for all these things. If you go to my blog, Dr. Jean and Friends, blogspot.com, you can find patterns for these. But this one with the bus, I've got magnetic tape on the back, and you can put it on a magnetic board, and then the children can take a letter, and I'll just do this with the letter pop. The N on the bus goes mm, 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 mm. The N on the bus goes mm, 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 all around the town. And one more little visual that children enjoy playing with. This is the birthday cake. And again, I've got magnetic tape on the back, and I've got the pattern for it coming up on my blog tomorrow. And the children just take the different magnetic letters. Yopi, it's your birthday. Let's all read like your birthday. Pa, 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 pa. Did you ever know there were so many things to do with these little magnetic letters? Here's one called Touch and Tell. And so you can just take a lunch bag or a sock, and you put a letter in here, and the children reach in and they feel it and they try to identify what it is, and then they pull it out. It's a W. Now, you know what? I know they're not going to be able to tell what it is from feeling it, but you could ask them things like, is it made with straight lines, or is it made with a curve, and just to pull it out, that's a really good way to help them remember the letter by pulling it out like that. And I've got some shadow letters, and this is another good visual matching, visual discrimination activity. You put your magnetic letters on the copy machine and copy them, and then the children find the letters and they match them up on the sheet. You could do words this way too, couldn't you? Let's see, some other things that I thought to do with magnetic letters. Oh, if you have a sandbox in your classroom, you can hide magnetic letters in the sandbox and let the children use a magnet and find the letters with the magnet and then identify them, say something that starts with that sound, use them to build a word. A letter hunt. You know how kids love to hunt for Easter eggs at Easter time? Well, all year long, you can hide different things for them to find, flashcards, anything. But particularly magnetic letters, you hide them around the room, and then they find the letters, and when they bring them to you, they tell you the letter name and its sound. And let's see, oh, one more idea. If you have a metal frame around your classroom door, you can put several magnetic letters. I would do maybe 4 at a time around the door. And as children go in and out the door, you name a letter and they have to touch the letter that's on the door. I'm sure a lot of you have other good ideas of things to do with magnetic letters, and I'd love for you to email those to me so I can share them with others on my blog. Just to let you know, next Monday is Halloween, and I'm not going to do live at 5. I'll be traveling to Minneapolis, and I'm doing a workshop there next Tuesday. And there's no better day in the year to go to staff development than on November 1st, because the children will be all sugared up, and you can have a day of learning and let the sub take care of that. I've also got workshops coming up in Louisville and Pittsburgh and Fort Worth and Houston before the holidays. So if you go to my website, drjean.org, you can get details, or you can go to sde.com. So thank you for joining me today. I didn't see any of the little bubbles and things pop up, so I don't know if anybody's out there or not, but I'll make a copy of this and put it on YouTube if you didn't get to join me today. So take care. God bless. Thanks for joining me.